Oh, there yours text. I just now got it. Because that's why I was washing my hands, because I told you to be right back, and I figured you were texting. He's a monster.
Is everyone ready? Great. I affirm. Sean Matson defines compulsory voting or CV as a system under which failure to vote violates the legal duty and results in small fine and none of the above options included on the ballot. I value democratic legitimacy, meaning a state that upholds the duty of advancing citizen interests. Statesman's determinations of public policy based on shared values, not abstract philosophical principles. John Rawls writes, public justification just to others who disagree with them proceeds from some consensus or premises that we and others publicly recognize as true and must avoid disputed philosophical questions that can't be solved. Like the only alternative toleration for difference can have good is autocratic use of state power and infringement of basic liberties, philosophy, a search for truth, and independent metaphysical and moral order can't provide a workable and shared basis for political acceptance of justice. As democracies are pluralistic, this is primarily to coordinate different groups concept of the good. William Galston shows. Politics is purposive. We measure states value by how much they tend to answer to establishing a flourishing regime and the creation of social space where individuals can pursue the distinct visions of what gives meaning to state organized social space within which differing visions to good or pursue solving inevitable problems of coordination among different groups. This in turn requires the state to provide all citizens a baseline level of political equality. Norman Daniels writes, protecting everyone's ability to participate in democratic processes, not simply giving people formal rights empty of real meaning, comes from concern to protect the recognition components of equality. The best off must still be the worst off as worthy participants, and the worst off must see themselves as equals, or they won't sustain their self-respect and participation. Additionally, equality is definitionally required in democracy defined by Webster's dictionary as a government that vests supreme power in the common people, absent arbitrary class distinction or privilege. A system that rewards only some groups with political power is an aristocracy, not a democracy. So an equality framework is necessary to be within the topic context at all and comes first. Thus, the standard is promoting equal access to the political system. Promoting equal access to the political system means facilitating all people's ability to use the checks and rights democracy provides. Further, prefer my standard to be concerned with distributed justice or how political goods are arranged to standards about overall social goods because first, statesmen consider the experience of marginalized people specifically since the student-centered perspectives create a flawed epistemology that makes that impossible. Jose Medina knows. There are epistemic battles among competing power firms to try to control a given field knowledge. Some experience of hidden hegemonic firms that marginalize educated knowledge and render them unqualified and unworthy of epistemic respect. The scholar's task is to disrupt epistemic hegemonies and mainstream perspectives by mobilizing the marginalized, but that can happen until subject avoid the epistemic table. This includes other frameworks of what we know forms space and how we act and think about moral questions. Second, distributed standards trump aggregated frameworks that try to maximize total social goods since no individual can experience that. HLA Part 1 writes, there's nothing valuable in the mere increase in totals of the collective sum of different persons' pleasures, not in itself a happiness which anybody experiences. Society is not an individual experiencing its members aggregate collective pleasures or pains, and not persons' experiences such as an aggregate. Thus, project aggregation frameworks in favor of my distributive one. Third, frameworks concerned with overall social goods undermine the worth of persons. Part 2. Utah is not egalitarian and treats people as though from no worth, pleasure, or happiness, or the sort of elements of their value, since Utah is only an instrument of concern with the relative levels of total well-being people enjoy. Its form of equal concern lies in the gross form of inequality in individuals' actual treatment if it maximizes aggregate welfare. Accounting for human worth is a side in all ethical theories since they try to govern human action. If they disrespected human worth, they'd be abstracted from human realities and people wouldn't be obligated to follow morality. My thesis and sole contention is that in a democracy, a voice requires a vote. My axis is that democracy ought to strictly enforce compulsory voting. The system should legally require voters to cast ballots, but let them check in any of the above options. To reject all candidates, non-voters must pay a fine unless they justify their absence through legal exemption. A CV promotes equality in two ways. First, CV addresses structural barriers to voting, promoting equal access and legitimacy. Simply making voting less costly isn't enough to raise turn in the face of systemic exclusion. Marjorie Hershey proves. Immense literature shows that voting costs range from registration requirements to strict voter ID laws disproportionately impact the least educated and wealthy. There's less evidence of reducing voting costs increases turn as advanced registration and voter ID rules only to multiple burdens on the likelihood of voting, like polling places accessibility, and perceived costs like long waits that can affect people's willingness to vote. Meanwhile, CV requires the state to make voting more accessible. Sarah Dwen Cherry writes, as many citizens still can't take part in the electoral system, states with histories of voter disenfranchisement like the U.S. will particularly benefit from CV. Countries with CV typically make voting more convenient through expanded postal voting elections when fewer citizens have conflict and automatic enrollment of citizens to vote. Empirically, CV increases voting age population turnout from all citizens, reducing disenfranchisement. Louth and Hill write, turnout rates among Australia's voting age population remain consistently high against a trend to study the decline of voter participation in advanced democracies worldwide. The average turnout rate has been around 83% of voting age population, 95% of registered voters from 1946 to 2001. Other well-administered CV systems in established democracies like Belgium and the Netherlands enjoy similar results, while turn the U.S. voluntary regimes in the low 50% range. CV thus levels the democratic playing field. Armin Schaefer writes, CV equalizes turnout across social groups' justification depends on its potential effects on policy outcomes, funding capacity to realize the democratic field, political equality, and it's a level playing field. The legitimate democratic procedures, policies that result from unequal participation in social groups seem much more difficult to justify. Second, Seaver addresses the social norm against voting in lower classes, equalized access to representation. Amongst lower classes, alienation and deprivation create a norm that perpetuates cycles of non-voting. Lisa Hill 1 writes, comparative research shows strong negative correlation between voting and socioeconomic status, characteristics of low education, homelessness, or ethnic minority status in virtually all advanced democracies where voting is not compulsory. The decline of participation is steepest among those least inclined to vote in the first place, entrenching existing biases, making abstention a group norm, so why people tend to be more alienated from the democratic process. The more they abstain, the worse their solutions likely to become entrenched in a counterproductive cycle of non-participation. This results in class bias policies of regular voters are predominantly wealthy. Chong and Oliveira 1 show. In CV's absence, those who may benefit the most by voting paradoxically tend not to vote. Sense data shows that eligible non-voters tend to be poor, less educated, and disproportionately exposed minorities. When compared to voluntary voters, unequal participation generates a systemic bias towards the wealthy in terms of representation influence, as several studies confirm happens in Switzerland, 6 Central American, and 7 European countries. By mandated participation, CV helps break this norm. Hill 2. CV can provide a circuit breaker to this cycle because it's also an extremely effective way of changing entrenched behavior by curing social fan not only by applying symptoms but by shaping preferences and changing tastes. CV, despite initial resistance, can become an accepted and effective means for establishing the norm of voting. Further, CV promotes equal turnout better than any alternatives. Aren Lepart writes, mobilizing people to participate brings in the same people who act spontaneously. Studies from the 30s and 90s show that of the institutional mechanisms that can increase turnout, such as user-friendly registration rules, the proportional election formulas, and frequent elections and weekend voting, CV is particularly effective. He adds, in comparative multivariate analysis, CV has been found to raise turnout by 7 to 16 percentage points. Powell found a difference of about 10% in study of 30 democracies. Empirically, this translates to more equitable economic policy and income distribution levels. Chong and Oliveira 2 prove. Countries with CV and average Gini coefficient 3.7 points lower than those without such law and via model explaining 44% of cross-country inequality. CV improves income distribution as voter representation increases. Strong CV laws and increases the income share of the bottom quintiles as the corresponding sum of the 3 bottom quintiles is possible and statistically significant for the first and third quintiles by compelling the population bottom income quintiles to vote. CV makes possible higher transfers and redistribution programs. Prefer my evidence on A, sample size, looks at 40 years of data from 1 to 3 countries, best showing a general trend. B, causality. The study explains the direct link between voting and equality. That's based on the model analyzing 44% of cross-country inequality. There's a direct relationship between CV and greater equality. Thus, I affirm.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the Chong and Oliveira 2 evidence says that it reduces the Gini coefficient, which is a measure of inequality. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So the Gini coefficient measures relative inequality. Why is that a link to your standard?
Because it's showing that if there's less inequality, then it's showing that, one, these people are getting more access to the political system because they're getting policies in their interest. But 2, it shows that they are able to, since I'm solving for the economic inequality, those harms to economic inequality would
So
sue them.
the arguments that link to your standard are also like things like poverty, right? So those like would be links to your standard?
Yeah.
All right. So you say that equal access to political systems. Does that mean like, is that like the like net welfare of the people like the worst off in society, or is it just like the total amount of inequality that should be reduced?
I don't understand the difference. But my argument is that there are 2 ways you can link off and stand. The first is showing that
show the difference. So if you like take money from the rich and just like if you burn like $100 from each rich person, is that by itself a link to your standard or like good in terms of your standard?
if it's closing the gap, then it would link to the standard. I don't think burning money would be effective as opposed to like redistributing it.
Okay, but as long as you...
It's not util if that's like what you're trying to get, because it's concerned with the distribution of goods, not the aggregate total.
Okay, so if my turn is linked to our arguments as to why compulsory voting would hurt the worst off in society, those would link to your standards, right?
You have to impact them in a way that shows the worst off become worse off, whereas like the rich stay rich. They have to like impact your equality. Those terms would probably do.
Okay, so arguments that say that like compulsory voting benefits society as a whole, or it increases how well off the minorities or like the poor
Not
are.
Society as a whole. Those are the arguments under the standard that explain my standard is concerned with distribution, not aggregation.
All right. So, all right, that's fine. So let's talk about the contention level offense. So the Hill evidence says that there's a norm of not voting right now. So how does compulsory voting break that norm?
Sure. So that's Hill 2, which explains CV provides a circuit breaker to the cycle of exclusion because laws are, one, a way of changing entrenched behavior. So even if the norm persists, the law forces people to act against the norm. And 2, over time, the law becomes the new norm. And we've seen that empirically, where universal suffrage was at first opposed, but now it's accepted.
All right. And do you defend compulsory voting in like general, or do you defend like a specific instance of it? So, like
I don't defend a specific actor. I defend the principle.
Will you defend links to like disadvantages about a specific country, or no?
No, I'd say that they have to be specific. They have to be general to democracy, because the topic's asking the question of what a general democracy ought to have.
All right. Where's that argument in the one?
That's not in there. That would be like an argument, I think.
All right. So the definition at the very top, the Maxler evidence, says that compulsory voting is you have to vote, but there's also a none of the above option.
Yeah.
All right. What's the like? Are there any